Hello friends, and welcome to a super fun plan with me. Today we are going to be planning the week of the 17th through the 23rd, where Andrea and I went on a fun little Disney trip. I'm going to be using the Animal Kingdom kit. Did we go to Animal Kingdom? No, but we did so much pin trading that it like 3% makes sense, okay? We're just using it, okay? Because I don't go to Animal Kingdom very often. It is my least favorite park. So I'm just going to use whatever's the most Disney about these boxes, because I only need a handful of boxes anyway. And we do have these. I'm going to use the tall girl. So we're only going to need 1, 2, 3. We're only going to need 5 other boxes anyway. So we'll probably use 1, 2, 3. And then a scene. Probably this one. So that's going to be that. And then as far as add-ons, we do have the doodles. Probably not going to use too many of those. And I do have the mini magic icons. We're going to use 1,000,000 of those. I've got 1,000,000 customs. I'm using font choice 15 for this. And I do have the mouse foil bundle in autumn tie-dye. It comes with mouse headers. We've got the washi, the overlays, and then the mouse underlays. So we're just going, oh yeah, that felt good. Jump right on into this. And yeah, that's gonna be the setup, I believe, of getting this base done. So this week was actually really crazy. So on top of the fact that Andrea and I were leaving on Wednesday to go to Disney, my best friend from back home, her name is Caitlin. She and her husband Brian and their 2 kids, Carter and Kennedy, had driven down to Texas like over the weekend to visit her grandparents who live up in Fort Worth. So it always happens that whenever she's coming, it like doesn't work out great for me, because they were coming down to like the Austin area on Wednesday, but I was leaving that day. So we basically worked out that I was going to drive up to Waco, which is like the halfway point between Austin and Fort Worth. I'm going to use the days of the week from my shop. These are in font choice 5 unfoiled. Then I will use the date numbers in font choice 5 in autumn tie-dye, as well as whole choice 3 in autumn tie-dye. So I drove up to Waco and met them at like the Magnolia nonsense. We hung out for a little bit, and then we got lunch, and then I drove back home. And I did read a bunch this day upon getting home. What was I reading on the 17th? I finished reading Bye Baby by Carola Lovering, and that was part of my reading my book of the month reading book of the month books video. So if you have missed that one, I actually don't even know if it's up yet by the time you guys are seeing this. Also, if you guys are watching this the week that it comes out, all pop culture things in the shop are going to be on sale, which includes this foil bundle that I'm using with this spread. So make sure you check her on out. But I was reading that book this day, and then I just had a really lazy night. I just kind of like hung out. Tuesday was date day per usual. Chris and I went to the bookstore and got Cabo Bobs. I came home, and I spent like a lot of the day trying to nap. I mainly just like rested my eyes all day, because what I was trying to do was I was trying to take a nap so that I could just stay up for my flight, because I have this thing, I think it's pretty common, where if I don't get like enough sleep, I feel kind of nauseous. But I was getting a bunch of anxiety because I had not yet packed, and I left in the morning, and our flight was at like 6 a.m. So I had to get up at like 3 a.m. to get to Andrea's for 4. So I was trying to nap, and then I was doing laundry, and then as soon as the laundry was done, I like got up and I packed. And then Chris and I did spend a few hours opening our box of magic cards that we got, because we're doing this like thing with some of Andrea's neighbors, and we basically are going to be like building our own decks. And so we opened up the big old box of cards. And Chris did not shut my door all the way, and the AC just kicked on, and it made the door like creak open, and that was so scary. Autumn tie-dye is so fun. As a like certified, I hate the color brown human being, this looks cool. So Wednesday. Woke up, drove to Andrea's house, got in the car, drove to the airport, and we flew from MCO to, or AUS to MCO. I did read on the, I read the day before. I read at least one chapter every day, but I didn't mark it on Tuesday for whatever reason. And Tuesday I had read like 2 chapters of Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And then on the flight, I got to about the 50% mark in that book. And I did end up finishing it this day later on. But whenever we got to the hotel, like literally upon getting to the hotel, we got the text that our room was ready. We were staying at All Star Sports, which is so funny because I stayed there with my sister. And and I've stayed there before with Andrea. Last time me and Andrea went, we stayed in the baseball theme, which I liked because they, there's like big baseballs and stuff, but like, and like bats and shit, but there's also giant Coca-Colas, so I was like, ugh, we're staying in the Coca-Cola section. But both when I was there like a month ago with my sister and this time with Andrea, we got the tennis room. So we got our tennis room, we went, dropped all of our stuff, freshened up, and then we took a bus over to Disney Springs, where we promptly did what we do best at Disney Springs, and that is dun, 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 get Chicken Guy. I like the safari a lot, of course. It's like a fantastic ride, but I fear we are going to be putting Everest in because Everest kind of gives more Disney vibes. So we went to Chicken Guy, did some shopping, of course, as we do. I wanted to get more like little plushies for my plushie headband. So went and picked that up and, you know, did the do in regards to that. We're gonna throw in this guy over here because Sunday was the day we came home, so I didn't really do all that much. So we did that, and then we went to Hollywood Studios. I got a cream cheese pretzel. We did Tower of Terror, we did Rocket and Roller Coaster, we did Toy Story Midway Mania, and then we went hung out at the hotel until our dinner, and we were able to snag a dinner reservation at Garden Grill. Neither of us had ever been there. It's an all you care to enjoy situation, and I was PMSing, so the all you care to enjoy really worked out great for me this trip. But it was actually really good. It was a lot of like fresh food because they use a lot of the things from the Living with the Land ride in this restaurant. The appetizer was like bread and salad with a really delicious dressing, cornbread, and like raw vegetables. And then they brought out the skillet, which had like roasted vegetables that had like bell pepper, onion, broccoli, zucchini, squash, all sorts of stuff like that, mashed potatoes, really garlicky green beans, and then I think there was like turkey and maybe roast beef. I don't really know. I didn't eat the meats, of course. As well as we got macaroni and cheese, and it was just all so good. And then apple pie for dessert, which I'm not like a huge apple pie eater, so neither is Andrea. She actually hates apple pie, but came with vanilla ice cream on top, and it was really, really, really good. So we had a really fun day. I will say I actually hate the new Skip the Line service. Prior to the current one, it was called Genie Plus. Now it is called Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, and you can just get a lot less done with it, and it's a lot more waiting around. I know people did not like Genie Plus because they felt you had to be on your phone too much, but I didn't find myself on my phone any less with this new system, yet I definitely did less things. So that was pretty much our Wednesday. Thursday, we got breakfast at the hotel, and we originally did not have any park reservations this day. Or did we? No, we originally did not have any park reservations this day, but we decided we were gonna go to Magic Kingdom because we were gonna go there for lunch, and then we ended up just going to something on the monorail line. Anywho, this was the day that we had to go to the Expo Center because the whole reason for this trip was Andrea was doing the Run Disney Princess 5K and 10K was like the original plan. Plans change, don't you fret. But we had to go pick up her like bib and go to the expo center and do all that stuff. So we went and did all of that, and then we went to the Polynesian and went to Kona Cafe, and I got these really delicious pot stickers and some french fries. And our service was actually really bad. It was like the only bad service we had this entire trip. But then we just were like, fuck it, let's go to Magic Kingdom since we have annual pass. It's whatever. It also was really annoying because whenever we booked to the trip, it said you no longer needed park reservations. But I guess that's like strictly for people buying tickets. If you have annual pass and you're going before 2 o'clock, you do still need park reservations, which is kind of silly. But anyhow, we went and I watched the parade, which I've not like done in years. So watched some of the parade. I think I actually watched the whole parade. Watched the parade. Andrea had not yet gotten to experience the new Country Bear Jamboree show, and she is a huge Country Bears fan. So we did watch the new Country Bear Jamboree, and is actually the 25th anniversary of pin trading, which made for a super fun experience. We were able to like pin trade. They had like so many different pin trading boards out, and it was just overall quite a blast. So we basically just pin traded all afternoon for like 4 hours. Basically, we just walked around and pin traded. Andrea did have her race in the morning, so we were trying to not stay out super late. So we went on the train. I got Casey's Corner for dinner. I don't remember what she got. Something else, that's for sure. And then we went back to the hotel and I started reading Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. That book and Just for the Summer are going to be in an upcoming video where I read popular TikTok romance author books. So if you're interested in my thoughts and feelings, that's where you're going to be able to find that info. But yeah, so then Friday we got Hotel Brekkie, and then Andrea needed a nap because it was like a whole thing. So basically, I don't know if like there was a time in which the temperature in Florida before, you know, humans ruined the earth with global climate change, where it was like a reasonable temperature in February, because that's when the princess races, and that's when why they decided to have it then. But last year it was really cold when I did it with Andrea last year, and then I didn't this year because I didn't want to spend the money on it. But basically it was freezing, like colder than the year prior. They were letting people run with Mylar blankets on because it was so cold, and Andrea said that like with the wind chill it was like in the 20s, which is disgusting. So she was just so drained from not only just running a 5K but also from like exerting so much energy trying to stay warm, honestly. So she needed a nap regardless, because she also was up at like 4 in the morning. So she took a nap, and then whenever she woke up, we went to Epcot. First thing we did was we went on Spaceship Earth. If you are a Disney person, are you team Spaceship Earth? Because I love Spaceship Earth and Andrea does not like it. So let me know. We did that. We did Living with the Land. We got the individual lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy. So we did that, which is of course a blast as always. We went around the world showcase doing pin trading and all of that fun stuff. And so we were also planning on just like eating quick service or whatever for lunch. Andrea was thinking about eating some festival food. I wasn't like super planning on festival food because it just doesn't really work out good for me because I'm too picky of an eater. But that was Andrea's plan, and I was like, I'll just get quick service, no big deal. We typically, Andrea and I, visit Disney during non-peak times of the year, but going for the race doesn't like allow for that because it just like is obviously very busy. The lines for the festival booths for Festival of the Arts were wild. So Andrea was like, yeah, like she was gonna originally eat most of the things that she wanted to eat for the day that were like more substantial. We're at the Italy booth, but the line was just out of this world. She was like, let's see what reservation we can get right now. So there was reservation, and mind you, it was pretty chilly this day, like 40s. There was an immediate, like, not immediate, like a 10-minute away reservation for Beer Garden, which is the restaurant in the Germany pavilion. So she was like, make sure you'll eat something. I'm like, it says potatoes. I eat potatoes, and I eat salad, and yeah, it'll be good. I eat soup. And it was actually really, really good. The salad had like a honey mustard dressing, which was decent. There was like a chickpea salad, like potato wedges, broccoli cheddar beer soup, schnitzel. There was tons of yummy things, and we both ate our hearts out there. It was just really a really good experience. Had a great time with that. And then it was getting quite chilly, and we were walking through the UK pavilion, and there had been these people with these Winnie the Pooh hats on, and I like had joked around. I was like, if I see it, I'm buying it. We walk into the UK store, and there they are. And then Andrea's just a really persuasive gal and gave me all the reasons why I should buy it. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll buy it because I'm cold, whatever. So I bought it, insert picture of hat, and then Andrea's like, yeah, if they like had other ones, if they had another different one, I would get it. Because they had at one point had Tigger. And hold on, let's zoom in and then I'll continue my story. Okay, so Girly Pop said that, and I was like, oh, well, they made a Figment one, and she said, no, I mean another Pooh character. And I was just like, no, that's not what you said. You said if they made another one. And they do, it's a Figment. So if they have the Figment one, you're just simply gonna have to pick it up. And then I looked up where they were selling the Figment one. I was like, oh, they apparently had sold it in creation shops, but we weren't really planning on going back there. So whatever, we moved on. We went on Soarin', we went on Figment, and then as we got off of Figment, I look in the Figment gift shop, and what do you know? They've got the Figment hat. So I was like, oh, Andrea. And needless to say, insert photo. She went home with it. And Chris thinks that this whole thing is very embarrassing, but I think it is fantastic. And Chris likes to go on like evening walks when it's kind of chilly. And you best believe I'm gonna be wearing it on my walks. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna be using lots of mini icons from the shop from here on Monday and Sunday, and then I'm gonna use the Disney ones throughout the week. This is the mini icons sheet. This is the mini magic icons sheet. And yeah, so, and the font I'm using is font 15. If you have any questions about anything I use, just let me know down below. So, we got the hats, and they are fantastic. I think they are probably best purchase ever. It's like, I told Chris also, it's my new like travel hat. It's like so cozy, perfect for like, instead of like a neck pillow, I have a Pooh hat, you know? And it's great, and I love everything about it. We went on Soarin', we went on Figment, we went on Nemo, and then we went back to our hotel, and Disney's been doing this thing where they have like different types of loaded fries throughout the park. And the ones at our particular resort were like Mexican street corn. And so we each got that. They were okay to me personally because they were a bit, and like I did know this going into it, cilantro-y, and I do have the cilantro tastes like soap gene, unfortunately. So that was, like, I knew that going into it, that it was a possibility that I wasn't gonna love them, and like they were fine. Then came back to the room and read. I had finished Done and Dusted during Andrea's nap earlier in the day. So this evening I did start reading Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. On Saturday, we did go to the Magic Kingdom. Andrea was originally scheduled, the originally scheduled programming was that Andrea was going to be doing the 10K this day, but basically for her own like mental health and sanity, she decided against it because it was going to be just as cold. And it was kind of like the general consensus, she said, and it seemed that way whenever cast members asked how the race was and she said cold, they were just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of really all I've been hearing about the race, is that like it was just really cold. And like the thing is like, I don't know if maybe they can move it to March, or I don't know when. They have a race called Springtime Surprise. I don't really know when that one is, if it would work to move it to March. But IMO, one of like the best things about the princess race is like dressing up, and people go all out with their costumes, and it's kind of like loses its fun when you have to like cover that up with a Mylar blanket. Or like literally just running with a blanket on, which they also don't let you do during the 10K because your speed, your like time is tracked on the 10K, and blankets and stuff mess up the timer thing, I guess. I don't know. Andre explained it to me and I just was like, yeah, makes sense. I understand. So that was that situation. So she decided against it, and we had plans to go to Magic Kingdom. Andrea was on virtual queue duty because I fucked up the virtual queue the day before. Well, I didn't fuck up, it was just like it didn't work out, which she said a lot of people who were on the race doing the virtual queue also had issues with it, so like getting it. So she was on virtual queue duty, and we got boarding group 7, and this was for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is the ride that replaced Splash Mountain, which I think is just so serendipitous that that is what replaced it. So we did, in fact, get group 7, so we were like, okay, because we've like been to Disney enough times to not care about rope dropping. We just aren't rope drop people in our like old age. So we're like, I guess we're going immediately because we need to be there, because we're going to be probably within the first groups called, right? Yeah, the thing is the ride didn't open on time. I guess like they've been having some issues with it, which I think is kind of dramatic, but since it just opened, and it's not like it was a complete rework of a ride. Oh my god, my back. I need to take some pain medicine, that's for sure. But yeah, so we were just kind of like, okay. And we like had asked, we're like, any like idea when it's gonna open? And they're like, nah. And we're just like, okay, do you think like it'll open today? And they're like, yeah, like we're planning on it. We just don't really have any clue when. And so we're like, all right. So we're like, kind of got here earlier than we needed to, but we basically just, I think a lot of people didn't, like, were like maybe running the race and then taking a nap or something, or they weren't coming in until their first virtual queue, because the park was dead. We went on, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, which was like, it's not like a ride that either of us are like, ooh, let's go on carpets. Like, we don't really care about it. But there was no line. So we went on Magic Carpets of Aladdin, and then we did have a lightning lane for Pirates of the Caribbean, but it was a walk-on. So we were just like, let's just go on now and cancel our lightning lane and get something else. So we did, and we went on Pirates, and then we did get called for Tiana, and we were debating whether or not to wear ponchos because you do get wet. However, this day was a bit warmer. It was in the like probably like low 70s, but it was decent out. And I was like, I think we're fine as long as we don't get the front row. Like, I think the front row is just like what really gets wet. And lo and behold, guess what we got? Guess what we got? The front row, baby. The front row. And guess what? We got soaked, so freaking wet. It was wild how wet we got. And the back of my sweatshirt had a backpack on. The back of my sweatshirt and like the butt of my pants stayed wet for like 5 hours. So that was an experience. But we did go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and it was so pretty. I really, really enjoyed going on that and getting to like experience it. So despite being soaking wet all day long, still glad to have done it because it was really, really, really stunning. Yeah, and then after we went on Tiana's, we went on the train, and then we went on the People Mover, went on Tower of Terror. Not Tower of Terror, I'm reading Tower of Terror on this. We went on the People Mover, and we went on Space Mountain, and then I did get Casey's Corner. We did the Country Bear Jamboree again. We went on the Little Mermaid, went on Haunted Mansion, and then we did have some other things, like virtual queues that we were waiting on. Mad Tea Party, I think, was one, like the teacups and Winnie the Pooh. But at this point, I had gotten my period and I had cramps. Andrea, her like hips were hurting really bad from the run the day before, and we were essentially falling apart. So we just kind of made the executive decision that we were just gonna go back to the hotel. We would just get dinner at the hotel, and it was gonna be it was all good, baby, an all good, baby type of day. So that was pretty much the plan, and that was what we in fact did. And it was honestly for the best. It was the best choice for us. So we went back to the room, and I was reading Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood, which I did finish that evening, and we got quick service at the hotel for dinner. I got the kids' meal chicken tenders because I was actually not starving. And Andrea got some like beef stir fry, I believe, and she said it was pretty decent. So we did that, went back to the room, we packed up, and then just kind of hung out. Again, I finished my book, and that was that. And then Sunday we got on the plane bright and freaking early. We also flew Southwest, and I've never flown Southwest, so this was like a jump scare to me. So in case you are unaware and you're flying Southwest for the first time, there's no assigned seats, and it's chaos. It's just chaos. It is just pure chaos, and I'm not really the biggest fan, but you know, that's what we did. But we got back to the Austin. Our flight was so early that we got home at like 9 a.m. Like, Chris picked me up from Andrea's at 10 o'clock or a little bit before 10 o'clock in the morning. And that included us landing, getting off, getting the car, driving all the way back to Andrea's. Yeah. It was a very quick, or very early morning back home. Then upon getting home, Chris and I did stop at McDonald's. Andrea and I did go to McDonald's at the airport. However, I did not get anything because my cramps were really, my period was like 4 days late, which like I was not worried about anything, but like my period was a little bit late. And for me personally, whenever my period is late, I already get bad periods, but it's usually extra bad. So I was like in the amount of pain that causes nausea. So I just got a Diet Coke, and then I took some medication and whatever. So by the time we landed, I was like feeling ready for food. So Chris and I, it was still McDonald's breakfast. Like, I got to McDonald's breakfast 2 times in one day. So Chris and I went to McDonald's, and we got McDonald's breakfast, which was like fine, of course. I mean, well, it was good, not fine. McDonald's breakfast is always pretty banging. I accidentally skipped green. Green goes here. Okay, put this back. We can't waste little things in this experience because they're like, I used all of them in my other spread. So green, and then the red, and then blue label. Grab here. So we got McDonald's, and I came home, and I just kind of laid in bed and napped. I was having a hard time falling asleep on my nap because Chris also decided he was going to take a nap, and he just was snoring really bad. So he eventually went and took a nap in the other room. I was like, I don't feel good, and I want to sleep. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but you need to get up. Like, I'm dying here. I'm exhausted. My back hurts. I have period cramps. Please, for the love of God. He's like, I'll just go take a nap in the other bedroom. So that honestly was fantastic of him. So I took a fat nap, and then I was just really, like, Aunt Flo wanted pizza. So we got pizza. Also, we usually get pizza on both my mom's birthday and her death day, and technically the day I'm filming this is her birthday, but yesterday in real time Chris had jury duty, and I wasn't sure if he was gonna have like to continue his civic duty today of having jury duty, so I didn't want to like miss out on it. So we got pizza and it was delish, and then I watched some YouTube. I had read a ton on the plane. I had started reading Saving Six, which that video is not going to be out for a while, but I am filming a video of finishing the Boys of Tommen series, but it's just going to take me a bit to finish it. I forgot to put the icons on. We'll grab those in a second. But yeah, so I had read about how much? About like 40% of this 700-page book on the flight. So I was just like not, and I had done so much reading. I read like almost a book a day for the whole trip, so I was just like done with reading for the evening. So I just passed the frick out after watching some YouTube, and that was my trip. That was the trip. Had a great time, had a lovely time, and had lots of fun. And yeah, it's not really much else to say about it. I'm just going to be using lots of little things up here. This day we did lots of things that like I didn't want to consolidate or remove, so it just means lots of little things. Lots and lots of little things. Also, the icons that I'm using absolutely make no fucking sense with what we did, but I just, besides like to mark Epcot, I'm specifically going to use the Spaceship Earth, and like for Magic Kingdom I specifically used the castle, but otherwise nah, it's just, or Living with the Land, we'll use the tree, why not, we'll make it specific. Okay, what am I marking first? Hotel brekkie. Yeah, we got a lot of hotel breakfasts. It's like a Disney hack is kids meals simply are such a hack at Disney. So the adult meals don't come with a drink. So the hack is, oops. The hack that me and Andrea do is we get the kids meal breakfast, which is 2 Mickey waffles and 2 sides. So we usually will get the Mickey waffles, of course, with the potato side, which is potato barrels, and then we will get a meat. We both get bacon personally, but you could do whatever strikes your fancy. They have sausage as well. So we do that, and then it comes with the kid-sized drink, which is like arguably a very small beverage, but you get 3 refills within I think like 2 or 3 hours, so you can just like go and refill it if you are still thirsty. And it's under $10. I think for like the 2 meals is like $15. So for like a Disney breakfast, that's basically like a steal. And we always order on the app, but we actually one day ordered up at the counter, and they don't like give an adult like any sort of fuss for ordering a kid's meal. It's like a no big deal thing. But even like for lunches, a lot of places, like I said, on the day that we were leaving, I was not starving to death. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get the kids meal chicken fingers, which is like 2 chicken tenders and like a shit ton of fries. Like I didn't even eat all the fries. Andrea ate like half of them, and the drink, and it's like $7 or $8. And so if you are looking to save some coin, definitely kids meals, kids meals, kids meals. And if you're like getting a kids meal and you're like really like not super hungry, you can get the like cutie, like the orange as a side, and pop it in your backpack for like a later in the day snack. I don't really like oranges, but a lot of like the Disney YouTubers that I watch do talk about doing that as well. So But it was overall a great time. I feel sad now because I don't have any like Disney trips on the horizon. I'd kind of like to go on one with Chris, but we will see where the wind takes us with that. Basically gonna be waiting until I get my taxes back. Not back, but like, you know, when you have a small business, you don't get taxes back, you pay taxes. I'm waiting to hear back from my accountant. I sent her all of the stuff, so whenever we see how much we owe is when we'll figure out what we're gonna do with our lives. And yeah, but I really like how this came out. It makes me a little bit sad that we didn't just pop in to what's it called, Animal Kingdom, to make it make a little bit more sense. But you know, it's all good in the hood, all good in the hood. So another thing, whenever we were at Magic Kingdom, it's so funny because I just went with my sister, and it's like the things that were like really, like my sister really enjoyed and were like important for her to do are not the same things that like me and Andrea did. Me and my sister did a lot of shows, not even really because that's like important to her in general, but it was just so cold that we wanted any way to be indoors. But my sister does love like a live theater show like at Disney. She loves like a show with real people in it. She thinks that's a blast. So we did a ton of those. I don't think me and Andrea really did any shows, which is just, I don't personally care either way. And then my sister really enjoys meeting characters, which Andrea does not. So it was just like, I feel like I went on two like totally different trips, which is really fun, like seeing how different two Disney trips can be. But anywho, the times in which Andrea does like meeting characters is when it's a rare character. We didn't have time because we were trying to get over to our Tiana's thing. We got called, and because it was virtual queue, you still sometimes with virtual queue can have to wait for like over an hour, and we were like, ugh, I don't want to do that. So we kind of like booked it, and I mean booked it, over to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But as we passed Winnie the Pooh, it does, I never realized it didn't say Pooh and Tigger. The sign technically says Pooh and Friends, but it is pretty much always Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. I've never until this day seen anybody else over there with him, but it was Rabbit, which was so cool. And if we weren't racing over to make our virtual queue for Tiana's, we definitely would have like stopped to meet Rabbit. And so it's so cool and fun whenever you like see a more rare character out and about. But yeah, he was really cutesy and love. One thing I hate about, I love, we did Carousel of Progress. That was like the one show Andrea and I did, but I didn't mark it because I don't really care about Carousel of Progress. What was I saying? I was talking about Rabbit. Oh, one thing nobody really likes about well, back up. One thing most Disney people do not like about Tigger at Disney World is he is like highlighter orange for some reason, like fluorescent orange. And it's just like very odd because like he's very much so not the color of Tigger. So it's quite odd. We are gonna have to divert from how I marked these things because I don't have the right sizes. So we're gonna do that, then we will do this, and then we'll do this. We have one little thing left over. Isn't that crazy? Okay. Can hear Christopher lingering outside because I do need him to edit a video, but I was already about to get started on this video, so I was like, you're gonna have to wait for me to be done at this point. So whenever I finish this, he will be editing a video for me. Pop in a Little Mermaid mansion. Oh my god, our picture from Haunted Mansion is so funny. I don't know where they take the picture. I thought it was at the end, and Andrea informed me it is in fact not. And based on my picture, it's definitely not. And it looks like I'm just like praying in the picture, and it just makes me LOL. Okay. Then up here we will mark that we flew, we read, and I got McDonald's. So that's what we're gonna mark with these bad boys. We're gonna grab the airplane icon from the mini icons sheet. If I can find her, here she is. Airplane, donde está? There you are. And we're gonna use the fast food icon from the mini icons sheet. There are full sheets of those in the shop. And then I'm gonna grab something book related. Here we go. MCO to AUS. We also got, they have like an option. Where's my other read script? Because I don't know how oh, here it is. Where it's free and you basically just do it and it's kind of like expedited security. So we did that, and there was this one lady that was like pitching a fit that like they've been waiting for 20 minutes and their flight was boarding, which like I understand if like security is like just taking a really long time and you almost miss your flight and that being stressful, but my guy, why did you just get here 20 minutes ago? Like, I'm having a hard time sympathizing when you, for some odd reason, decided to get there at the last fucking minute. That stopped recording somewhere along the lines, so sorry about that. I just threw in the last couple of things, but we will zoom on out and I'll show you this finished spread and then we will be done. Here it is. Here is my finished Disney week, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!